Greetings from a sunny London, if you can even believe it. Uh, just like a week ago, it was rainy, it was cold, it was grey. We're finally starting to feel like it's really spring weather. In London, I'm filming this on Saturday and it's 20 degrees here today. Let me just check. It might even be more than that, but the last time I checked, it was 20 degrees. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so good. 21 degrees. So this week, it was a weird one because I was in that transitional period clothes-wise where I was like, one day I was a bit chilly, and then the next day I was so boiling that I kind of went for something more summery, and then I was like, it's still not quite warm enough for this yet. So I think my perfumes might kind of reflect that. Well, I was trying to do some more slightly thicker florally perfumes this week. And you will notice when you look at a couple of these that I was trying to find my perfect honeysuckle. So I've got two things here that are new to me. Three, actually. There's three. And one that will surprise you. So it's been an interesting week, guys. All right, so I'm just going to start with one I've talked about loads, so I won't need to talk about it long. But I wore this one on Monday. This is Mamba Juice, and this is by Saffron London. This is a dupe for Pure Poison. So it was still rainy and chilly on Monday, and I was like, I want something floral, but I want something really clean. I was in that kind of soapy mood, and you'll see from a couple of other things I wore at the weekend, last weekend, that I was just in that kind of clean, soapy mood. Maybe influenced by all the musk videos I've been doing, but it was just how I was feeling. So I went to work, and then I went to have dinner at a friend's place, and she complimented me on this because I think it's just a lovely perfume. And it's one of those that Pure Poison is one that I genuinely thought I wouldn't be able to wear because the jasmine in it's really strong. But this one, and to be fair, the current version of Pure Poison, when it dries down on my skin after maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that, it's more of a kind of equal mix of the Gardenia. I think Gardenia maybe to me comes across a bit more strongly, but it just smells, it's like one step away from body lotion. It's so pretty. And this is what inspired me to get something else I'll talk about that I've tried before, but I couldn't really get along with. And I just thought, I'm going to give that one another go, and I'm going to see how it wears now that I'm kind of edging towards wearing more jasmine. I'm still super fussy about it. Jasmine often ruins perfumes for me. Specifically, like jasmine sandbag seems to be a real problem. But yeah, I think there's other types of jasmine that I don't find so worrisome. And this is one. It's super easy to wear. In the wet weather, it didn't last quite as long as the last time I wore it. But it's just delicious. And the notes here, I'm just going to read you the Pure Poison notes because, to be fair, I can't find any notes for any of the Saffron perfumes. They don't really tell you what they are or what they're dupes of. So you just have to kind of, hope for the best. So this is top notes of jasmine, orange, bergamot, Sicilian mandarin, middle notes of gardenia and orange blossom, base notes sandalwood, white amber, cedar and white musk. So it's a really soapy musk, a beautiful sandalwood. It's definitely jasmine heavy and more so in the top, but I think when that orange blossom and gardenia starts coming through, you get this like creamy, soapy smell, which is just super clean, super pretty, and it's got a very sexy musk in this one. I really do. I understand why a lot of men like this perfume and like this smell. Well, my husband hasn't really said much about it, but I think for him maybe this is quite a floral musk, so I'm not sure he'd pay much attention to this one because he's a bit more into fruity musks. Speaking of which, this was just in my video I've just done, and God bless, the Lanvin has almost completely come off of this now. So this is Modern Princess. It's just a musky freesia and red apple beaut. I love it. It's one that I love respraying. If I wear it, I never change up in the evening. I think almost everything I've got here I wore for a full day. It's not possible that I wore them all for a full day because I've got more than 7, but generally. This is apple, red currant in the top, and then it's freesia and jasmine in the mid, and then the base is vanilla orchid, white musk and white woods. And it is a creamy musk. It's got a bar soapy thing going on, but it's not shampooey. There's nothing in here that I find screechy. Oh, the red apple in this perfume is so delicious. Oh, yeah, I just love it. But I did talk about this in my last video, so if you'd like me to expand on it a little bit, then you can always go and watch that one. I shan't talk about it for ages. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay, so this is a new one. So I have been trying to find my perfect honeysuckle perfume. I have a few perfumes with honeysuckle in, but they're not like entirely honeysuckle, if you see what I mean. So I've got the Pure Honey by Kim Kardashian. That one's got a lot of honeysuckle in it. It is a very floral honey perfume, but I don't really enjoy wearing that perfume until it's actually quite hot weather. So like if I was out and about in the sun today, I would love wearing that one, but it's not one I particularly love wearing around my house, and it was a little bit chillier on the day that I wore this one I'm about to talk about. But I also have the Sarah Jessica Parker Covert, and that's a very heavy in the honeysuckle, but there's also chocolate and lemon in that one. It's quite woody. It's kind of it feels more autumnal to me. It's not really a very spring-like fragrance to me. And then I've got some other that just sort of have honeysuckle in but aren't necessarily very dominant. So I've been trying to find one with a dominant honeysuckle. There's two here that I tried this week, and they're both new to me. This one I don't think is in production anymore, but I saw it when I was looking on Fragrantica at Honeysuckle Perfumes. And I just saw one on eBay, and it was, I think, like £15 or something. And it's really pretty. Is it honeysuckle? I'm not really sure about that. So this is Molten Brown Blossoming. I went full West Country there, didn't I? Oh dear. That's my roots coming through. Molten Brown London. This is Blossoming Honeysuckle and White Tea. I don't think they make it anymore. In the pictures on Fragrantica, this is like a see-through perfume, but it's very sweet, so it's kind of honeyed itself up. And I would say this is the first Molten Brown I've ever bought. I think the only one I've even ever smelt is it Milk Musk, and that one just smelt like chemicals to me. Whereas this is very pretty indeed, and it's really in my wheelhouse. The reason being, it just has a tiny, teeny, weeny hint of that profile I like that's in my Goji Cactus perfume from 4711, and in what's it called? I can never remember. Prerogative by Britney Spears. The Ego version, which is sweeter, stronger, more Goji, and it also has a similarity and overlap, that same kind of profile, with Elizabeth Arden White Tea Vanilla Orchid. So it's in that same kind of realm, but it has a honeyed vibe that reminds me in the main of my L'Occitane Terre de Lumière. It doesn't actually smell like Terre de Lumière, but there is a sort of honey feel in this, even though there isn't honey in the notes apparently. So this says bergamot and mandarin orange in the top. You definitely get citruses. Then the middle notes are honeysuckle, jasmine and white tea. Base notes are vanilla, sandalwood and heliotrope. Now, I don't think this massively smells like honeysuckle, or I should say, it doesn't smell like an English honeysuckle to me. I don't really know if there's, in the same way with like jasmine and roses, that there are probably other types of honeysuckle from different parts of the world where there is a slight difference in feel. This feels like a gently floral tea perfume with actual honey in it. That's what this smells like to me, and a bit of citrus. It's so pretty. It's really sweet. I mean, it's got like I'd say it says white tea, but it's almost a bit more of a black tea vibe to me, this one. It's a little bit syrupy, but it's not heavy and it's not too strong. And I wore this to work and I loved it. And I couldn't get enough, and I kept respraying it, and I thought I smelled awesome, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, like I said, unfortunately this doesn't seem to be one that's actually in their collection anymore, but I know in the UK you can get this on eBay. I've seen it. I think I've seen it on Vinted as well. They're normally pretty good prices. I managed, because this was an actual auction, I managed to get it for I think about £15. Speaking of auctions, I wonder if that's what's just popped up on my phone. no, Just Eat just want me to buy takeaways. No, we've got proper food in the house. So I think they're normally about 25 quid online if you get them from eBay. And if you like a slight honeysuckle vibe, but a little bit of a floral vibe, if you love a kind of delicious tea perfume with a bit of tang, and you love like a honeyed perfume, then I think you would love this perfume. It's really nice. There's nothing in it that smells too chemically to me. It doesn't smell like aroma chemicals or anything. I just think it's really pretty. I just really, really enjoyed it. So that is an absolute winner for me, and I'm very happy to have it. Now, this is going to seem so random, but as I said, because I've had a turnaround on a couple of perfumes that I didn't know that I would like, and then I really liked, or I didn't think I'd be able to wear because of the jasmine or because of other things. And I also kind of wanted to get hold of this other one because I've smelt it in store before, but I've never actually worn it. So I wanted to see what it was like to finish off my kind of collection, because I've tried, I think, most of the glows that I could get hold of. And then I saw this just kind of looming into view. This is JLo Glow, and it is a box set that I got from Amazon UK, and it was like £16. Look at her being an absolute goddess. Gosh, she's so ridiculously beautiful. Let's see. Oh, now I'm getting messages. What's going on? All right. I'm really sorry if you can hear my phone beeping and it makes you think that it's your phone, because that happens to me all the time when I watch YouTube, and I'm always like, oh, is that me? Oh, no, it's not me. So I'm going to take these out and ruin this box. I really like the bottle of Enduring Glow. I think it's really cute, and unlike all the other ones, it's actually got like a much better lid because it's got a gold lid. So that's Enduring Glow, and this one is the Original Glow. So I'm going to just start with the Original Glow, because this is one that I tested it. I had a bottle and I was like, there's something about it that I think is beautiful, but it doesn't really work for me. It goes a bit screechy. I also said in the review, and this is genuinely true, I first spray it smells like hairspray, that kind of sharp, like, But I also said, there's this weird, like, savoury, almost like gravy-like smell, and I still get that. So this is a different bottle, and it's a much lighter colour than the other bottle I had, because the first bottle I had wasn't brand new. So I don't know if that bottle I had was just really old and therefore it's like a different formula and is super strong, or whether it had just like been sprayed so the air had hit it and then it had become really strong, because that bottle was so much more intense than this bottle. This is a much lighter, easier and more approachable kind of version of that smell. So I did still get a bit of that weird gravy smell. I do still get a bit of the hairspray smell. But I was really appreciating the kind of soapy feel of this, and I did actually wear it full proper wear, full day. And I quite enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, I reckon I can cope with this one. I don't want to, it's not like I'm trying to force myself. It's just that I'm trying to kind of get over the whole jasmine thing, you know, and this is a perfume that I think the dry down is super pretty and it's really clean, and I love a musky, clean perfume. But like I said, that old bottle was so overwhelming. It was so strong, and it was just, wow. It was just like, this is going to give me a massive headache. This one, it was not at all overwhelming. It's definitely not as strong. It's a much paler liquid in this one again. So I don't, you know, it still has the same general like profile. It still smells like the glow that I tested before, but it just nicer. I just think it's nicer. So I really, really liked it. And I felt very clean. I felt very ladylike, and I thought, I'm happy to have a 30ml bottle of this. I don't need anything bigger, but I do think this would be really good for, like, again, work days where I'm going to be with lots of people and I want to smell fresh and clean, but I don't want to be like too strong, or I don't want anything that's going to annoy anyone. People are just going to think that I smell kind of soapy, and that's good for me. So yeah, this the notes in Glow, let's have a look. So you've got neroli, orange blossom and grapefruit in the top. And I do think there is that kind of sharp, classic white floral smell at first. Then in the middle there's jasmine, tuberose and rose. And I think that is what you start to get. And I do feel like, although the jasmine is, I think, the strongest thing, the strongest note in this perfume, apart from the musk, let's be real, the musk is actually the strongest, but the jasmine's the strongest floral, I think. But I think the rose and the tuberose kind of chill it out a little bit more than I remember, if you see what I mean. So then the base notes are musk, sandalwood, orris root and amber, and vanilla. I don't think this is massively sweet, though. This is it's not like super screechy to me, the way that some white florals are. It's just super soapy. There's definitely a sharpness in it, like a nose tingly sharpness. But it definitely chills out when it dries down. And like I said, this one is just so light in comparison to the bottle that I had before. So yeah, I'm happy to have that one. I think it's really pretty. So then let's look at Enduring Glow. When I smelt this in store, I was just like, nothing interesting or original. But I couldn't really remember much about what it smelt like. I didn't pay much attention to it. I just sprayed it out and went, no, that's not worth bothering with. But I wanted to give it another go because the notes in here are pear, lychee and bergamot in the top. Middle notes are magnolia, petals, pink peony and violet leaf in the mid. The base notes are musk, sandalwood and crystal amber. I really do think this is a cool bottle. I like this one. I love the shape of the Glow bottles. It's just, they often do things with them that I'm like, ugh. And like I said, the lids are horrible, but this has a gold lid, so it looks much better. Oh, I really don't like this perfume. So I was really trying to think what it is I don't like about it. I don't think it has the nicest florals. I don't think it smells... I don't think it's quite as kind of soapy as the other ones. It's quite fruity, which I was surprised about. It's magnolia and peony heavy, I'd say, but the lychee in here makes me feel queasy. And I would say I do seem to struggle with quite a lot of perfumes that have lychee in. Not all perfumes that have lychee in at all. Like, I have smelt it done really nicely in a way that I think actually smells like real fresh lychees. Even the Elizabeth Arden green tea lychee and lime, that had a more realistic lychee in it than a lot of the lychee I smell in popular perfumes, which I think is just kind of screechy and uncomfortable and weird. So that's what I think about this one. I find it really uncomfortable to wear. I also tried this. Well, no, it's. I know everyone loves Delina, but I really don't like Delina, and I think the lychee note in it is unpleasant, and I find it kind of screechy and sharp. I don't know if there's like a ton of ambroxan in it. Maybe there's a ton of ambroxan in this one, to be fair. But yeah, it's sickly. I find it weirdly sickly, even though it's not like ridiculously sweet. I really genuinely don't like that lychee. I really don't like that note. And I do think it's the same kind of lychee that's in Delina. So I think if you liked Delina, you'd probably like this lychee. If you, like me, don't like the lychee that's in Delina, you are probably going to want to stay away from this, because it's not going to work for you. It didn't work for me. So anyway, I will stop going on about that now, but I just really didn't like it. I was like, ugh, no. One I really liked, which I've had in my collection for a while. I had not worn this for ages. I'm just going to spray it out. Give it a sniff. Oh, I really, really enjoyed wearing it this time. This is Stash Privé by Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, am I right in thinking, I'm not entirely sure, but does privé mean private? It feels like it might be. Oh, that's a good smell. It's really fresh. It's really clean. It's like, it's a white t-shirt or white shirt kind of scent, this. It's in that same group of perfumes that I would have, like my white tea perfumes in. It's that kind of feel to it. I'm trying not to eat it now because I sprayed it out and it's just all in the air around me. It's fresh. It's slightly fruity. It's not too sharp or too sweet. There's definitely a slight powderiness in this. It's slightly herbaceous. It smells quite a lot like Chanel Chanso Tendre. It has that kind of smell, and a much nicer version of something like Daisy. It smells pink. It does. It smells slightly pink. And I think Privé kind of makes sense for this one because it's gentle and it's light, and it's not, I don't think it's supposed to be like a bombastic, everyone can smell it perfume the way that the original Stash is. This is kind of the next step from, actually maybe they're about the same. Stash Unspoken and Stash Privé are both, they have a kind of intimate scent bubble. This is just so pretty and delicate without being like hyper feminine. And apparently she was inspired by the Russian ballet. And I think I've said before, like, it kind of makes sense to me because although ballerinas are incredibly strong, they're athletes, like, no doubt. Like, they're incredible. But the actual ballet is obviously an incredibly delicate and beautiful, like, smooth and pretty kind of dancing. It's just glorious. And I can see that this is the kind of perfume that's not like, it's not excessively feminine. I think anyone could wear this. I really do think this would be a good unisex perfume. Stash is a great unisex perfume. I think Stash Privé, you're pushing with, again, Honeysuckle, because SJP loves Honeysuckle. So you're pushing into the kind of maybe a bit too sweet, maybe a bit too much Honeysuckle to smell unisex. But this one I think could be unisex. I think it's super, super clean, fresh, lovely, without moving into being horrifically like sweet and girly, but it's also quite delicate and just, you know, it's pretty in that sense. So the notes here are quince, grapefruit and pink pepper in the top, middle notes of sage and Tunisian orange blossom in the mid, then the base notes are birch, musk and Haitian vetiver. And yeah, I don't know, it just really worked for me. I just really loved it. I wore it all day. This is one that I think I actually put on in the morning thinking, oh yeah, okay, I'll just, I'll wear this one in the morning and then after my shower I'll put something else on. And I just didn't. I just wore this all day because I really enjoyed wearing it. And like I said, it's been a little while. I think the thing with this, when I sniff it from the sprayer, I don't think it smells amazing. But then when I actually wear it, I think it's gorgeous. And I actually have because this is only a 30ml and it was £6 when I bought it. I got myself a backup because I really liked it at the time. And then I was thinking a while back, I was like, do I need a backup of this perfume? I don't hardly ever wear it. And then I'm remembering it's because I much prefer how it smells after it's been sprayed out and when it's on my skin than I do when I'm just sniffing it from the cap. So yeah, it's a lovely perfume, Stash Privé. It's such a pretty one. It's really nice and such an easy reach. Like, you could totally wear that so easily to the office, and like if I do an office appropriate perfumes, I'll have to put that one in for sure. Oh gosh, I've been talking for ages already. Right. Oh, my husband was out on Thursday night, so I wore this one to work. I wear this when he's out now. I'm just going to spray it. Just going to make my bedroom insane. Yeah, he doesn't like this. He thinks it smells like cucumber, but I really love this perfume. So when he's out and about, I will often wear it. I'm just going to make sure this is looking good on here. So this is Marigold and Gardenia from Vera Wang. This is from her Embrace range. It is increasingly impossible to find, I'm sorry to say. So it's not one that I'm just going to keep talking about all the time, but obviously I will tell you when I wear it. This is Melon and Mango in the top, middle notes of Marigold, Gardenia and Orange Blossom, base notes Cardamom, Musk, Sandalwood and Cedar. Can I just say, there aren't enough perfumes that have dominant Marigold that aren't also like old 90s, they've got a million ingredients in them kind of perfumes. I've got two. I've got three, but one of them is the Adam Levine one. So that's mainly sandalwood, but there's like a vanilla and a really noticeable marigold in that. And then I've got this one, which is a delicious melon marigold. It is quite floral. It's got this kind of plasticky doll head smell to it, thanks to the cardamom. But there's also a slight kind of candied sweetness, as if you've got like a little hard candy that's mango flavoured in there as well. But, and then I've got a brocard one that is a kind of almost dusty, sandy orange perfume that has quite a strong marigold. But whenever I'm looking for like a strong Marigold perfume, there aren't that many options. And I really love the way Marigold smells. I can really recognise it now when it's in a perfume, and I just think it's such a beautiful and pretty smell. So I wish there was more. But anyway, for now, this one will have to suit me. And, you know, like I said, I just wear it when my husband's out now because he's just like, it's one of the few perfumes of mine he's smelt and he's been like, no, there's not that many of those. Right, this is a new one. New to me, not a new perfume, but new to me. I have had this on my to test list for such a long time. Years. And I've never seen it to test. I've never been able to get a tester. And so in my Honeysuckle search, because this perfume comes up as a suggestion quite a lot, I thought, right, I'm going to check. And then Makeup UK had it for like £16. So this is London from Burberry. So I think you can see the colour. It's got a slightly pinky coloured lip. It's not that dissimilar to Modern Princess colour-wise. So this, the reason I haven't blind bought it until now is purely because Jasmine has been like right at the top of the note structure in terms of the votes on Fragrantica. And people will often refer to it as like a jasmine heavy perfume. Whereas it always gets suggested for Honeysuckle. So I was like, and then there's patchouli in it as well. And I thought, oh, and there's tiare flower. And sometimes I find that a bit screechy. I'm like, but because it was only like £16, I thought I'm just going to buy it because I feel like I will be able to sell this on if I don't like it. And then I got it and I smelt it and I thought, oh, it's actually kind of good. I'm going to wear that to work on one of the slightly colder days because London is a strong perfume. This is a strong one. It's a strong, syrupy, tangy floral. So I do like a tangy floral and I like a syrupy floral. It's kind of musky, this one. If I'd have had this when I did my musky florals, I'd have put it in there because I think it's a musky floral. And I would say, when I first spray it, glorious honeysuckle, for sure. Definitely. And that, I really, really adore the first spray of it. And then when it dries down, the other notes kind of come up to meet it. And I do still really like it. It doesn't quite reach the heady heights of the initial honeysuckle, but it's still good. So the notes here are honeysuckle, tangerine and rose in the top. The middle notes are jasmine, tiare flower, peony and clementine in the mid. The base is musk, sandalwood and patchouli. So thankfully I don't really get patchouli. I'm sure there's some sandalwood going on here. There's definitely some tangerine and clementine. There's definitely tiare flower and jasmine. I don't know if I really sense much in the way of the pink floral, so the rose and the peony, not so much. But it's definitely musky. There's definitely honeysuckle. And like I said, the honeysuckle is beautiful, honeyed white floral, pops out right at the beginning. And then when the jasmine and the tiare kind of come up to meet it, it's like, it then smells a little bit more mature. So again, like, I don't mean, it doesn't in any way smell like an old lady perfume. And I don't like using that expression, but you know what I mean. If I'm trying to explain to you guys whether you're going to like this or not, if you don't like the kind of perfumes that people will refer to as old lady perfumes, then you might like this, but it might be a bit risky because I think it smells like it's from the 90s. That's the best way for me to describe it. It smells like a sweet floral from the 90s. It's not quite as strong as things like Poem. It's maybe slightly more modern smelling than that because I think there's quite a lot of fruit. I think maybe the tangerine and, you know, the orangey scent in here is maybe saving it from really smelling too vintage. But it's powerful. This one is strong and it lasts and you don't need to spray much on unless you want to, you know, really, really smell strong. But I enjoyed wearing this one. I thought it was a good wear. I enjoyed it. I think it's pretty and it's staying with me. I don't like the bottle. I'm just actually having a look. Yeah, it's got a very slightly rose gold, like a really pale, like rose gold, or like a kind of pink champagne coloured lid, which I've only just realised in this light. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's really pretty. So yeah, I mean, I would totally recommend this one. And I've got my eye on eBay on the Lalique, which I know Sarah Mace, when she talks about that one and she talks about this one, she often says they're kind of similar vibes. That one though has like quite a strong blackberry, and I love the bottle, so I thought if I can get that for like an absolute bargain, I might try that one. Because the jasmine in here wasn't overwhelming for me. It didn't bother me. I think it's a really nice jasmine. I don't think it hasn't got that jasmine sandbag vibe. It's not too woody. And I think the honeysuckle stopped it from going like over the edge in terms of whether I was going to like it or not. So yeah, I think that's a really nice one. I totally recommend it. Now, my favourite thing I wore all week. Oh my God. I already knew that I loved the smell of this. I have been obsessed with this perfume ever since I first smelt it. But I have never really been able to properly wear it because I found it really overpowering. But holy moly. Lust from Lush. I mean, like I said, I've always known that it was the greatest jasmine perfume that I've ever smelt. It's so fabulous. This is the solid version. I wore the living daylights out of this. It's already got a bit of a dent where I just went at it like an absolute maniac because I just could not get enough of it. I couldn't get enough of how this smelt. I couldn't get enough of how it smelt on me. I couldn't get enough of like how I just wanted to be lustful with myself. But I was at work, so I obviously didn't. But oh God, this is the best smell. And I spent the whole day thinking I could just happily smell like this forever. But I did want it to be stronger. So I'm in this kind of jam now where I'm like, the perfume version of this is so intense that the last time, it was years ago before I was doing this channel, I ended up having to return it because I just couldn't wear it. Whereas this one, I just couldn't stop putting it on because I wanted it to be stronger. So I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to get the perfume. If I can see it anytime soon on eBay for cheap, I might grab it. But I don't really see this one. I feel like Lust is really beloved, so I don't really see this one come up much. But it's only, I think this is one that's only £30, so I might just get the 30ml for £30. And what I will do is I will wear the solid one on my neck and my décolletage, and then I'll wear the perfume, just one spray, on my wrist so that it's stronger and it's but I mean, it's not like I couldn't smell this. I really could. It's just I couldn't get enough of it. I just couldn't get enough of it. It is the most perfect jasmine I've ever smelt. And it's like, okay, so the notes that they give you for this one are jasmine, ylang ylang, vanilla, rose and sandalwood. I mean, those are the classic Lush notes in so many of their perfumes, but to differing degrees. So this one, it also has some ingredients in the list that smell like citruses. So my feeling about this, and I've really been thinking about it a lot because back in the day I just thought of it as a jasmine perfume. And now I've been doing this channel and I think much harder about like the separate notes and try to identify things. This genuinely to me smells like there's a sort of clementine-y smell in it. So it's got a very strong and very beautiful, natural, in the back garden, early spring jasmine. Like amazing. And then it has a creamy, I mean, slightly banana-y, creamy ylang, which I think is balancing it out and stopping it from being like crazy, like jasmine that would give me a headache, if you see what I mean. Although, I mean, the perfume, if I really went ham with it, would definitely give me a headache, but that's more to do with the strength, I think. And then it has a kind of a weird fruitiness that I do think has that kind of clementine smell to it, like a mandarin or a clementine or something like that. Like not a really sharp, but like a really soft, watery, orangey citrus fruit. And then you've got the vanilla that stops it being too sharp, and just makes it I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I haven't stopped thinking about it. I easily could have worn this for the rest of the week. I absolutely love it. It was on like a kind of medium temperature day, and I felt like an absolute goddess wearing this. Yeah, I'm actually obsessed. So probably the next time I wear this, you'll see that I have a perfume version, and I will be just not going ham with it. I'll probably, like I said, I'll do a mixture so that it doesn't get too out of control. No, you can never really see the front bit with the lovely colour as well, so I'm just going to have to leave it like that. You stay there, mate. Fine. So yeah, that was my week. I had such a good week. Like, with the exception of this one, which, like I said, just I found very, very sickly. I really loved everything that I wore. I could not get enough of myself when I wore this. I couldn't get enough of myself when I wore this. I couldn't get enough of myself when I wore this, or this, or this. And this one I just always love. This one just made me feel clean and ladylike. It's been a good one. It's been a good one. And this made me feel like kind of like a bit of a boss, because I do think it's a bit grown up smelling. And I mean, I am a grown up. I'm 42 for goodness sake, but it doesn't mean I act my age. so yeah, I had such a beautiful week full of absolutely stunning, lush perfumes. Anyway, I only wore one lush, to be fair. Thank you so much for watching. I think that is everything I have to say this week. So yeah, that is it for now. Let me know if you guys have any of this. Let me know if you've got any Molten browns, because this is my first proper experience, and it's not the strongest or longest lasting, but it is an eau de toilette, which is fair enough. But it's super pretty. It's really nice. I didn't, honestly, up until this moment, I didn't even know that Molten Brown was a London company, which is slightly disgraceful because I've lived in London for, I don't know, 20 odd years. So yeah, let me know if you've got any of these, if you like them, and I will see you next weekend with the next batch of what I've been wearing. Bye guys.